Hi guys, it's Melly Starz and I'm here with another episode of Melly's Couch. Today we have a very special guest coming all the way from Miami. He literally just got off a flight. He's a Billboard Charting Engineer, producer, and recording artist, Dom Cee.
What's up, y'all? Woo! Background was like, woo!
You've been in the game for about 12 years from what I could tell during my research, maybe longer. And I want to start from the beginning with your first few songs that you dropped in 2011.
All the way back.
Yeah, all the way back. You know I go all the way back. Do you remember any of the following? Another Night?
Classic.
Last Chance?
Classic.
Don't Cry?
Classic.
Shorty Remix?
Classic.
That one I was gonna talk about because you were going under a different name, but we're not gonna say the name.
We're not gonna say it.
If you know, you know, and if you don't, you don't. It's reserved for like really special people.
You had to be there.
You had to be there during that time, okay? So then I wanna talk about your mixtape that came out 2 years after in 2013, Homemade. Do you remember? Yeah, so it was 5 tracks. You had Welcome, Sleeping on Me, Tired, Mad World, and Life.
Yeah, it's kind of funny you found that. I thought I took that down.
You did.
You're good. She's good.
Yeah, you did take it down, so I didn't get to listen to it.
Okay.
So I just literally have the track list. So what can you tell me about that project since I can't find it because it's gone?
Yeah, no, that was the first collection of songs that I decided to put out.
Okay.
First track on there, Welcome, that was a spoken word that I had put together. So opened up with a spoken word, and then after that, the rest was just like beats that I found online, you know, just whatever. It was more into like the poetry side of things at that point in time, you know. So I think from there it was kind of like not necessarily a lyrical miracle, but more in that range.
I didn't know that you did poetry, so I just learned something new. How did you get into doing poetry or like spoken word?
I feel like when you take the route of being an artist, you know, that's usually like the first point.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people start with poetry.
Yeah, like, you know, it's a lot easier to kind of just like grab your ideas, put them together in some type of format, and then afterwards, eventually you're like, oh, well, let me put a rhythm to this, you know what I mean? And then you eventually lead your way into actually creating songs.
So where did you like record these first couple of like tapes? You know, like
so
singles, and then like I know they're a couple years apart, but where did you kind of start? Because I saw somewhere you started in the basement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when I first started making music, this is a funny story. You probably didn't find this online.
But we're gonna get it anyways.
Yeah. So my very first setup was a karaoke mic, as well as a free laptop that I got from doing after school matters. So I did like little 40 hours, they gave me a free laptop. I was like, all right, cool, got this, downloaded Audacity, which is a free recording service or platform. And then, you know, had the karaoke microphone. And then, that was the first situation that I had. And then afterwards, we had a safe room in my basement. You know, like basically like a dirt/concrete room that was all.
Yeah.
And then what I ended up doing was just kind of gutting it all the way down, put some bed foam all up around the walls, ended up putting a carpet down, put cork tiles in, and then over time that ended up being known as the dungeon.
The dungeon. I did see somewhere that you mentioned the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
I think on a song, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, probably any song.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably in a bunch of songs. Okay, I wasn't sure if you were like talking about a literal like, you know, place that you named the dungeon, or it was like a metaphorical.
It was literal.
It was literally in the dungeon.
Yeah, no, that was good times. That's literally where the music kind of developed for me. You know, that's where it started. That's where I really got invested into it, and I was like, you know what, like let's make something happen.
Yeah, like there's something here, so let's pursue it, kind of.
Definitely.
So then you started going by Cee, but like C-E-E, not just C.
Right.
And then this is when you did Liquor in My Lyrics with Kid Picasso. This is 2014. You've done a few songs with Kid, which we're gonna get into throughout the interview. But talk to me about Liquor in my lyrics first.
Liquor in our interview?
No. There will be liquor later.
Liquor in my lyrics, at that time, we were just cranking out songs, honestly, just creating. So, you know, a lot of the times at that point, we were finding inspiration. Like we'd be, you know, can I cuss?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, look, I don't know. You know, we're just trying to make sure that the sponsors are okay with it.
The sponsors are perfectly fine with the courtesy. The sponsors have cursed on my podcast before.
Very good, very good.
Very good.
But yeah, no, so, you know, a lot of times we spent a lot of time, like, you know, obviously fucked up. So, you know, naturally, like, that idea just came to mind where it was just like, yo, I got liquor in my lyrics.
And I think there was a video for this.
Yeah.
Oh, and then in the video, you guys were super young. There was a lot of liquor.
Yes.
Were you guys even old enough to drink at that point?
I can neither confirm or deny this.
So if you know, you know. If you were there, you were there. If you weren't,
I'm a good person.
No one said you weren't. You also have like several other tracks with him. How You Live. The reason I want to bring this up is because you're name dropping some girls in there. Are these like all your exes, or did you pick like random names?
No. I tend to try to draw from my real life in my music. So, you know, if I try to keep my personal stuff out of there, but, you know, at the same time, if you're filtering your music, you're not allowing yourself to be vulnerable. If you're not being vulnerable, how can someone really relate to what you're saying?
Yeah.
So I try to have that aspect when I approach my song. So if you ever hear me say a girl's name, there's one out there.
Ooh. So do any of those girls know, or have they heard the track? Did they say anything to you? Well, clearly...
I was like, I don't know.
They haven't said anything.
I haven't gotten an earful, so...
So if you're one of his exes, don't look for that song, because you might get a little angry.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Troubles with God, that's a more recent one. What can you tell me about that song? Because it's interesting.
Troubles with God was... so that beat was made by our guy, Edwin Edsel. We were actually at his studio one day and we were just like bouncing around ideas. And at that point in time, you know, we were really heavy into trying to sample stuff. So we were listening to like these obscure songs, like things that you wouldn't normally listen to. Like you're like, yeah, I'm going to the club, I'm gonna listen to this song, you know?
Right.
So we were sitting there just trying to come up with an idea. And then we heard that song, like that actual song, and it's like, ooh, troubles with God. I'm like, man, that's fire. And some way, somehow, we twisted that and just chopped it up and did some crazy stuff. And that was actually our first release on streaming platform.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what year that was, but
2017.
That was 2017?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
That's wild. But yeah, no.
But I know all the things. So
I see.
So another song that you released the same year is One Time, where you say, one time for the mob that we rep. The reason I bring this up is because you used to be, or you had the Ghoul Street Mob.
Yep.
I'm gonna bring out a little friend to join us. I brought you a little ghost, a little ghoul. I tried to find a ghoul or a ghost that kind of fit your...
This is a friendly ghoul.
It's a friendly ghoul.
This is like one of those emojis.
I don't think your ghouls were friendly.
Yeah, no, not much.
No. So we're gonna have a friendly ghoul.
Good vibes.
Good vibes. So I think this started back in 2013 from my research. Mm-hmm. How did it start? Because it was 4 of you guys. So it was you, Kid Picasso, Mark Daniel, and AjaytheeGreat.
Yep.
How did you guys come up with it? Like, how did you guys meet? How did you guys start? Like,
so
y'all were big out here in Chicago.
Yeah, we were definitely having some traction for, you know, being sub 18, sub 21. We were throwing events. But basically it all started like all of us just kind of like collectively, me, Kid, and AJ, we all went to high school together. So that's how all 3 of us met. And then Mark and Kid were friends. like basically family, honestly. But then one day we all kind of came together. We're all like, oh, we all do music, what's up, boom, boom, boom. And then eventually, you know, we ended up coming up with Ghoul Street. And then Ghoul Street was just basically like, ghouls are kind of like an entity. And then street obviously is, you know, people rep their street.
Yeah.
So in essence, the meaning behind it is that, like, you know, we're an entity that moves around to any street. You know, we're trying to be global, international. So
yeah, okay, interesting. I was wondering where it came from. So I'm like, I know what a ghoul is, I know what a street is, I know what a mob is, but combined, what does it mean? Now we know.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
You guys also had merch. You guys had like little sweaters that said like Ghoul Street on it and everything. Did you guys like sell the merch, or was that just for you guys?
Oh, no, we sold it all the time. Yeah, we used to.
So is there still Ghoul Street merch out there somewhere, possibly?
Somewhere.
Ooh, so if you're in Chicago and you still have some of this merch, I want to see it. Okay? Tell me about Mob Mondays. Was this also part of that era?
Yeah, definitely. Mob Mondays was basically like us trying to have a signature day where it's like, look, whenever a Monday came out, one of us four were gonna drop some music. So, you know, that's really the essence of where that was.
Nice. Okay. So this is also in 2017, but I don't know if this is like part of Ghoul Street or not. But you did a music video for Trippy with Jeezy. Okay. The reason I bring up this video because it's hilarious. You're on the street and you're holding up a sign that says "We'll rap for food." Why? Like, what? Who came up with this concept?
I gotta eat.
Well, yeah, obviously, but you're gonna rap for food.
Hey, look, people can't necessarily, you know, give you some money. So I was like, hey, look, just buy me some food. I'll spit you some bars right now. But yeah, I don't know. We just we found a cardboard and we're like trying to portray like a story along with it. You know what I mean? So it was just like one of those things, and it was in the moment. We were all just like, all right, whatever, just write this. We'll rap for food. Yes, that's me. Give me food.
Did people on the street actually think like it was serious, or did they realize like that you were recording a video?
Oh no, they knew. It was funny is so actually a couple of the people that went along and like donated in the cup.
Yeah, because I saw a couple of people who were like.
So one of them was like someone that was with our party, and we were kind of like, you know, did that. But there was actually someone who walked by and was like, boom, and that was actually the dollar that fell, and I was like, you know, pick it up. Just kind of like trying to play along with the essence.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I saw people walking by, and then I was like, do they not know what's going on?
Nah, they definitely knew. They seen the camera.
Okay. Yeah.
He had the whole like tripod thing going. Like,
oh, y'all were serious. It wasn't like on no little iPhone or back then probably not iPhone, but you know.
Nah, yeah. iPhone's always been good, but nah, back then you had to have a good camera for that.
Now you can't get away with your iPhone. I mean, back then you couldn't get away with your iPhone. Now, you kind of get away with it. I think maybe a little bit to film. Whoa.
Gotcha.
So next up, let's talk about Soda with AjaytheeGreat. You had like a more gritty flow style here. I want to talk about the cover art because this like was a callback to my childhood. You had the Mystery Machine. Why did you put that on the cover?
You know what's funny about that is, for whatever reason, so that original artwork was actually like a GIF, and it was like a holographic GIF that was kind of like pulsating. So it was always changing colors, and it kind of like just matched the vibe for us. You know what I mean? So for whatever reason, you know, we thought it was gonna work as the actual cover art where it was gonna do it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, nah, even though it didn't, I still feel like it was like still like within that trippy vibe, you know. Yeah. In the Ghoul Street days, we were more like aiming for like that dark, grungy like type vibe. So
that's what I'm saying. Like your sound was like very gritty compared to like your newer stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And then, you know, the cover arts matched that as well. We tried to like really dive into the aesthetic and the brand, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So after 2021, I didn't see anything else about Ghoul Street, the Ghoul Street Mob. Why did it end?
It was just a matter of, you know, everybody.
Like, was it logistics? Because this is also, I think, this year I also found like the first picture of you at Masters, which we'll get into. But was it because you moved or like?
Nah, I wouldn't necessarily say it was because I moved. You know, like I'm loyal to whatever I'm committed to. You know what I mean? But it was just a matter of time. Like everybody kind of just started going in their own way. You know what I mean? Like for me, like, you know, I kind of really started to dive into like the engineering aspect. You know, going to the school, getting the job at the studio. So we all kind of just like, you know, just drifted away.
Yeah. I mean, you guys still work together, but not like under the Ghoul Street. Because you still work with Kid, you still work with Marv, just not under like Ghoul Street. So a little friend here. Whoa! So speaking of Miami and Masters, my season premiere guest, Miss Myah Stom, told us a little story about her going to Miami and how she ended up in a session with you. So before we get into this Miami trip, a little bird told me that there was a specific bottle that night or during that little mini trip that you got familiar with. So I'm gonna bring that out now.
Well.
Remember her? I mean, it's not the exact flavor, I think, but.
Hello, dear. Milagros, cheap and effective. Very good, very good.
So that's your alcohol. That's your liquor for the podcast. Whenever you open it and decide to get into that, you know.
I'm gonna be like the game, just like.
By the end of the interview, he's just.
This is great. I love it.
So let's hear your side of the story with Myah Stom and her whole thing, because I have some background info on it, but I want to hear your, you know. I know what happened, but you need to tell me. You need to tell the people what happened.
Yeah, no, it's pretty funny. I was just watching that video the other day too.
Yeah.
So, I had a session with my guy. His name is Fellow Human. He's an artist from Detroit that lives in Miami now. He's a chef too. But basically, we had you know, the session, and then obviously you guys happened to be in town at the same time. We had the whole gang out there. We were a squad. We were like the mystery van.
We're the mystery gang.
But yeah, no, we all popped in there, and then it was just funny because it started off like just casual, you know, like whatever, everybody introducing each other. Oh, you make music, you do this, you do that. And then eventually it just turned into pardon my French, but a ratchet fest. We were all just slapped in that motherfucker. That shit was funny, but
I don't recall. I don't remember this. I was not ratchet in there.
Here, this, that's for you.
Yeah. See, I stick to water. There was no ratchet-melly out there.
No, you were very professional.
I was. So that kind of brings me to my next point, which is, so Myah originally, from what she said, she didn't fly out there specifically for you. She flew out there to have a meeting with a particular LLC, as she likes to say. But she somehow ended up meeting you. And now you guys have worked together on a few things. Like you've done some mixes and stuff for her.
That's a prime example of like music bringing people together, and, you know, situations coming about that allow like great creatives to, you know, just so happen to be in the same room, and it's like, oh snap, you do this, well I do this. Oh well, peanut butter and jelly makes a sandwich. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So do you often get artists who fly in for sessions? Like I know Kid Picasso, Mark Daniel, Herb Dean, and then Trap Boy Chad, which you kind of did an IG live with him recently to discuss his album.
Trap Bo.
So do people like often fly into the studio just for sessions with you?
So I do have a couple of people that come in from out of town for sure. But usually it'll start off where they come in from out of town and then I'll work with them. And then because of that, it'll be like a recurring relationship. You know, like I have clients from, you know, obviously North Carolina. I got clients that are out in LA right now. I got clients in Atlanta, clients in New York. So, you know, it's just one of those, like, as soon as we work, they're like, oh my God. And then from there, you know, everything else is history.
Yeah, and then you also have like TQ, who's out in Arizona.
Oh, my boy.
TQ. Oh, he's supposed to fly in this season, but we'll see. We'll see if he makes it to the couch.
He gonna make it. He gonna make it.
You see, Dom said you gotta make it. So you've worked with so many like notable art or people. It's insane. So when I first did my research, you were at 10 million streams. Then when I was doing my note cards last night, you posted that you're at 12 million streams.
12 million.
And you have 379 credits.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of people. A lot of people. So I'm gonna talk about some of the artists that I was able to like uncover that you've worked with. Boosie Badass.
Mm-hmm.
Chaotic 305.
Yep.
Yossi Fuentes.
Yep.
Jasmine
Good David.
David. Okay, I wasn't quite sure. 305 Vontae.
Yep.
Low Shimmy.
Yep.
Northsided DJ.
That's the homies.
Ryzen King.
Yep.
Jeezy.
Yep.
And then obviously, like I said, TQ, which you did recently. Oh my God, which I listened to the other day and I was like, yo, the mix on this is fucking phenomenal.
We'll be cooking.
And you didn't even record that. So imagine if you would have recorded that. So of those people that I've like listed, do you have any like crazy stories? Do you still like stay in contact with most of them, or were some of them like one-offs?
Nah, everybody that you listed, like I work with pretty consistently. 305 Vontae, we just dropped a track that he had come out. Ryzen King, he just had his album released. Actually, with that album,
you mixed that entire album, correct?
Majority of it.
Okay.
Yeah, he ended up going with some other tracks that he had. But on that album, that actually got me a Damian Marley credit. So that's cool. And then the Boosie Badass, that actually got me with Kodak. And it's so funny, I'll never forget this. So you know, Kodak and his sniper gang comes to our studio like every so often or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember me and one of my guys from the studio, we go to the liquor store, or not the liquor store, I'm sorry, we go to the gas station, and we're coming back, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm getting ready to wrap up, I'm getting ready to go home, and we're driving past this Rolls Royce, and I look, and I'm like, man, that's not like your typical Rolls Royce, like that shit, it's styled up, like, yeah, that's dope, all right, cool, whatever, pull in, park up, and as I'm getting ready to go in the studio, next thing you know, Kodak pops out, and he's like, pops out from the Royce, he's like, hey, y'all can let me in? And I was like, yeah, bro, come on, slide. Yeah. And then he comes upstairs, you know, Sniper Gang's in one room, we had the other room open. He goes in there, he looks around, and I'm there with him, and he's like, hey, you know how to record? I'm like, yeah, bro, I got you.
The voices.
Yeah, it was funny. So he just sat in there. He actually just wrote his verse. He put the shit together. And honestly, I'm probably biased because I actually seen him like create it right there. But probably my favorite verse that I've ever heard from Kodak. But
it was on Rocket Man?
Rocket Man remix.
Okay. So I was going to talk about Kodak later, but I guess we're here now. So let's go, right?
The plan has been foiled.
It's okay. The plan gets foiled all the time, and then I just got to roll with it. Were you in the studio? Because I believe there's a video where he came back to Mix Masters, and he was talking about how he didn't get a Grammy. Were you in the studio during that time, or?
You're talking about when he was with Academics and Aiden Ross?
I don't remember who was there, but I know he was just in the studio talking about like, oh, I should have got my Grammy, blah, 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 type shit.
Honestly,
if you don't remember, then you probably weren't there.
No, I mean, I'm usually there, you know what I mean?
I know, you like live in the studio.
Yeah, like 90% of the time I'm there. But, you know.
Because I didn't see you in the video, so I was curious.
Nah, I mean, you know, sometimes like in situations, like, you know, artists will come in and they'll just kind of like grab the room. They won't necessarily be recording. So, you know, it could have just been one of those situations where, you know, maybe he had his artist in there recording. Could have been that situation with Aiden Ross and Academics. But, you know, he's been in there a bunch of times. So, you know, it could have been any one of those.
Was he, I don't know if you would know if he was talking about the song that you guys did or if he was talking about a different song.
Probably a different song, because the one that I did was for Boosie Badass's track. That's originally his song.
Okay.
Kodak was just featuring on it.
Okay, so probably a different situation. I was just like, it all was in the same place. I was like, let me do these things add up.
Man, I wish I had a Grammy right now. Shit.
We're going to talk about a few more. You did another one with KDO Fuego.
Yep.
And Nobody.
Yeah.
Which I wanted to talk specifically about this project, CC4TV.
Yep.
Right?
Certified classic for the bitches.
Oh my God. That's what
that
stands for?
Yeah. Or it's classic certified, one of those. I always get the first two mixed up.
Oh, okay. The reason I bring this up is because I had a contest going because you happened to put me on this, this project. Did they ever find out that I was on it and what I was doing?
Oh yeah, no, so when it comes to music, I'm very formulaic in a sense, you know what I mean? Like, I like to really be in depth and bounce ideas around, And I was sitting there and I was like telling them, because, all these songs, like the entire project is an evolution of like a process of, you start off meeting the girl, you guys start fucking around, you guys start liking each other, you start dating, next thing you know, you guys hate each other, right? So that's like the entire process of the project. And, throughout it, like, obviously we were doing the mixing and the mastering, but I told them, I'm like, yo, we need something to tie this in. Yeah. So, at that point, I started coming up with these ideas of, okay, cool, let's get a girl to do this, let's get a girl to do that. So we ended up getting an angry girlfriend. We had a girlfriend who was in love.
Yeah.
We had a girl getting fucked. It was a bunch of shit.
Yeah, because there's several different women on there, and we're not going to say what I was doing. You got to listen and put two and two together, because none of the girls are credited.
No.
Yeah, so there's three options. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Talk to me about 808 Mafia. You worked with someone from 808 Mafia?
Yeah. His name was Trey Sav. He's a artist that signed to 808 Mafia. I worked with him out of Rebel 11.
Okay.
Yeah, so that one was pretty cool. That was a nice little vibe. It was interesting to think, like coming from being someone who started off being in a bedroom studio in a basement with like a USB microphone and some computer, like speakers, like not having any type of equipment or anything.
Yeah.
And then, leveling up to the point where now, I'm in the room with, names that you're familiar with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
very notable.
Yeah, so it's definitely it's a humbling experience. Sometimes, I forget to, take a step back and, realize that, I have been able to do these things. But, in the moment, I kind of just like put all that shit to the side because I'm here to work.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
you've never gotten like starstruck by anyone?
No, never. Because here's the thing, right? And this is how I approach it, is that anybody that you ever come in contact with, they're a human, right? And then if they're coming to you and they're in the process of trying to be creative, one thing you have to understand is that like I was talking about earlier, is that they're trying to be vulnerable. Yeah. They don't need somebody there like, hey, give me a signature. Can you sign this for me? I love your song. You know what I mean? Like, that just makes them look at you and they kind of just like automatically, like, you just shut the door on yourself. You know what I mean? So don't get me wrong. Like, it's definitely cool to be able to be in the room with these people. But as soon as you act out of, like, if you're not trying to, like, if you don't allow yourself to be a regular person, then they're just going to be like, ugh, like, you're one of those.
Ugh, one of those. I want to talk about Dash's Clay.
Dash's Clay.
I know. You guys worked together at the studio, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then he did the artwork, or he helped with the artwork for NTLO.
Yes.
Which is featuring YJ.
YJ.
I always want to keep saying a different letter.
Yeah, those are the homies.
What does it stand for? Like the acronym NTLO. What does that stand for?
Nothing to lean on.
Okay, that makes sense because you say it in the song. Wow, it took me forever to figure that out. This song I also bring up because it was featured on a top 100 hip hop blog site that we're familiar with here on the couch. How did that come about? Like, and how did you feel about being featured on like a notable website like that?
Honestly, it's crazy to me because I just make music to make music. You know what I mean? Like, I never really expect much to come from it. So when it is able to be acknowledged and appreciated and, you know, being able to be shared to like more people than what my network reaches, like, it's fire, you know what I mean? Like, it's a crazy experience, you know? It's almost like an outer body type of deal.
Yeah. Did you reach out to them or did they reach out to you? Like, how did it work out that you ended up on this website?
I don't remember.
Oh.
I barely remember what I did yesterday. I just got off the flight, okay?
Literally just got off the flight.
This is my energy drink.
Wow. I'm gonna start bringing energy drinks for flying guests, clearly. When you get off the flight, I'm just gonna hand you a Red Bull. Here you go.
No, hold on. I actually got something.
Oh.
No! Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. He wasn't doing. You weren't doing drugs. You just went and took an energy shot. One more notable name that you've worked with was Sean Kingston. I'm not sure how much you can tell me about this because you went on tour with him, correct?
Yeah.
But are there like NDAs or things like that? Okay, so what can you tell me about tour life?
Tour life is
I want to
crazy.
know all the things.
Tour life is crazy. Honestly, like, you know, it's one of those things, you know, like everybody always says like, oh man, I want to live in the studio, until you start living in the studio and you're like, fuck. And then I want to go on tour. And you go on tour and you're like, fuck. Like, it's an amazing experience. Like, it's crazy to think that every single time I woke up, I was in a different state, a different city. You know, obviously preparing for a whole nother night of just like running it back. You know what I mean? It was an amazing experience. We had a studio on the bus. You know, was able to pop out to a bunch of different states that I've never been to before. So in that aspect, it was really cool. Definitely an enlightening experience. And, you know, I'm happy that I was able to do it. It was definitely like something that I could put like off my checklist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Would you go on tour again? Maybe not specifically with him, but like in general?
Definitely.
Okay. So, you know, he's ready to go on tour. Hit him up.
I do it all.
Hit him
I do
up.
it all.
So I guess with so many different styles, because you've worked with, like I said, over 300 people, I'm sure like not everybody is like one genre. Is it challenging like when you're mixing or recording or like during the process to like find the right, I don't know.
The right sound?
The right sound, yeah.
Not necessarily. Obviously, you know, each genre has its own like specifics, you know what I mean? But, you know, I've been lucky enough to have developed my ear enough to where, you know, I can hear the end result of the song in the process of making it.
Wow.
And because of that, I can kind of help direct an artist to go somewhere to either accomplish what they're trying to accomplish or even enhance it. Like as far as like the mixing or whatever the case goes, you know, it's just a case of like, I just go with what I think feels right, what the energy was of that night on what the focus should be. And then worst case scenario, you know, just pull up like a reference, like whatever top 10 song from that genre, just to kind of get a general idea of like, okay, cool. So their drums sound like this. Okay. Their voice sounds like this. Where is it sitting with the beat? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's interesting how you kind of approach like all the different styles as an engineer, of course. You also went to my alma mater, Full Sail University, as a representative of Mix Masters for like a career fair. Is that like a surreal moment knowing like, man, you kind of studied some of the music production. Now you're out here like career fair, like.
No, it's definitely very interesting. I feel like it was a crazy experience for all of us because, you know, I did do a program, which I don't know if you're gonna talk about that at some point.
No, we can talk about it now.
Oh. So, you know, I went to college. I was in school for only a semester. And then when I moved out to Miami, I went to a program. It was called Recording Connection. That's what got me into the studio. And, you know, obviously from there, you know, made stuff happen for myself. But technically, I only got a certificate. I never got like a degree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's funny because that day, so we're in Miami, the career fair was in Orlando.
Yeah.
So we were all up the entire night, didn't go to sleep, went to the career fair off of just like energy drinks and just like trying to talk to people. And they're like, hey, let me talk to you about my future. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, your future looks great.
Hold on. Say that one more time. Oh, yeah, okay. But no, it's definitely interesting to know that like there's not one route to get to the final destination. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because all of us that went on that trip technically didn't go to school. You know what I mean? So, you know, to be able to go there and talk to people who did get the knowledge and kind of like exchange ideas and, you know, get like a different perspective on things, it's super interesting. It's really cool.
Yeah, that is interesting. And also just like showing, you know, people who are aspiring to be like in your position, like, hey, there's different routes to get here. Like it's not everything is like cookie cutter type of thing. So that's very interesting, even though you were tired and on energy drinks. Aside from Mix Masters, have you worked at any other studios? I know you've been in other studios, but have you worked at other studios?
Yeah, of course. Worked at a couple of studios out here. They were more like personal studios. And then when I was out there, I mean, I've bounced around to a bunch of studios, you know. If the price is right, I'll pull up.
And trust me, he's pricey. I'm trying to get him on a flight and get him to the couch. It's pricey. So you got
Thanks to our sponsors.
You mentioned on an interview that your longest studio session was 21 hours, but that one was like split up on like amongst different artists. How did you get through that day? 21 hours is pretty much a whole day.
Pure willpower, honestly.
And why? Why 21 hours straight?
So no, yeah, I mean it was different sessions, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what makes that story even worse is that the night before I only slept like 2 hours. So I woke up because I had my early morning session, which was like for a couple of hours, and then for whatever reason, all the other sessions that were happening, something happened to where like it needed to get covered, and I was the only one there. And I'm like, yo, I did not sleep last night. And they're like, no, you're going to, you got to do this. Like, there's no other option. So I ended up just, boom, next one. Next thing you know, 20 minutes later, yo, I can't make it. Next one. I literally ran the entire day.
Wow. Yeah, I knew there had to be like some crazy story behind it. Because I'm like, I don't feel like anybody voluntarily sits there for 21 hours. Like, no sleep, no food, like.
No, I mean, but here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize, though, right? Is that like, okay, so there's an engineer out of Atlanta. His name is Baines. He's a Young Thug's engineer, right? And he basically said that like prime example of he would work like, I don't know, 10 hours, 8 hours, whatever the amount of time was with Thug. Thug would leave. Gunna would pull up. This is when they were still cool. And then Gunna would be like, yo, like, I need you. And Baines is like, nah, look, I'm about to go. He's like, nah, bro, I need you. And then end up running that entire session. And by the time that Young Thug went to sleep, got back up, came back to the studio, he was still running and then had to run Thug. But yeah, no,
So this is just like a normal thing in the industry, I guess.
The thing is that if you want to be successful, you have to make sacrifices. And sleep is usually the first one to go. You know what I mean? Because you never know. An opportunity may pop up and you're going to pass up on that opportunity because you're tired. All right, cool. Go ahead, get your sleep, but don't be mad about where you're at in life. You know what I mean? That's just like the realest of it. I mean, it's not a soft truth to absorb and shit, but it is what it is. You know what I mean?
It's the truth. It's the truth. I'm super tired today, but was I gonna miss this interview? Absolutely the fuck not.
It's okay. I would have been here by myself. Like, all right, Dom, how do you feel? Oh, I feel good. Okay, cool.
He was gonna interview himself. I would have been like, here are the note cards. I'm too tired for this. Go talk to yourself. Thankfully, I'm here on like, what, 2 hours of sleep?
Bless your heart. Bless your heart.
I think I took a nap while you were taking a nap, so.
I wouldn't even call it a nap.
Ooh. I do want to talk about your longest session for one artist, which was 16 hours. Who
Shout
was
out
it?
Northside DJ.
Okay, there we go. How did you guys decide to do a 16-hour session?
So he came into the studio one day and he was just kind of like checking out the vibe. He was looking for a studio to record at. He had a bunch of music he already had in mind that he wanted to work on.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, yeah. So I showed him one room and he's like, oh, this is cool. And I was like, yeah, we got this other room. And he looked at it. He's like, oh yeah, no, this is the one. And I was like, yeah, bro, if you want to set up a block, we could, work out the numbers and everything.
Yeah.
And, sure enough, he was like, all right, let's go. Whoop. We locked it in and, I think we knocked out, like 10, 12, something like that. Like 12 songs, give or take.
Damn, that's like a whole project, basically.
Oh, yeah, no. And none of it was trash either. That's something I want you to know. Like,
Okay, that's the part.
There were
That's the
tracks
important.
in there that he did that I still bump to this day. Nobody else has them. I have them, and I bump them.
Of course you have them. You have all the exclusives, all the unreleased stuff. You have like all unmixed stuff. He's got the... Let me just say, if you're an artist who's worked with Dom Cee, don't screw him over because, shit might just get leaked, maybe. Allegedly.
Nah, hell no. Trying to ruin my reputation over here.
JK.
I won't leak your stuff. I'll just come find you.
I don't know which one is worse. I don't know which option is worse on that one. So you say you primarily work on Pro Tools.
Yep.
But you can like adapt to almost any program.
Put me in front of any program, give me 10 minutes.
Yeah. So did you learn like to be multifaceted like while you're doing school, or like did you just teach yourself every aspect, like every program?
Nah, yeah, I'm very much a person where I don't like to ask for help for things, so I do want to try to figure out how to use stuff to the best of my ability. And then afterwards, like if I need like help on something, I'm like, okay, cool, what's up? But no, yeah, I mean, I've literally used almost every single software there is out there, like the school introduced me to Pro Tools.
Right.
So that was like really the first time of me working in Pro Tools when I moved to Miami. But before that, it was Audacity, which was a free software that's actually made for podcasting. It's not even meant to run.
Yeah, for other stuff, yeah.
So Audacity, FL Studio, Ableton, GarageBand, Logic, Studio One, Reaper, obviously Pro Tools. Now I'm using Luna for my mixing. Yeah.
There's pretty much nothing that he can't work off of.
Yeah,
pretty much. Oh, wow. What's your favorite plugin?
My favorite plugin?
You weren't expecting that.
Yeah, no, that's a tough one. Favorite plugin? I'd probably say CLA Vocals. That's actually the plugin that they use to create the Travis Scott effect.
Oh, there you see. I learned something new today.
Yeah.
You also do like mini Pro Tools tutorials, I think.
Yeah, I've always been the type of person where I'm not a gatekeeper. You know what I mean? Like, if I learn something, I want other people to learn as well. And it doesn't bother me to share the information either, just because of the fact that, like, even if I teach you this, it's not like you're gonna put me out of work, because you still need to learn how to master using this. By the time you do that, I already learned this shit over here. You get what I'm saying? So I'm never opposed. Like, if anybody ever has any questions about any engineering shit, you want fucking critique on music, any shit like that, I'm all for it. You feel me? And I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, you're a little brutally honest at times.
Yeah, nah, it's funny. Remember you had sent me that one song, and you're like, yo, what do you think of this? And I sent you back like a note thing like this, and I was like,
I forgot what song it was. And even if I remember, I'm not gonna put that person on blast.
Right.
Whoever that was. But yeah, that's why I say he's brutally honest. You also do like, I have a couple of videos like it's step-by-step like mixing on your YouTube.
oh, yeah.
How do you, because a lot of times you're mixing like somebody's track. So are they, like, you ask them ahead of time like, hey, I'm gonna do this YouTube video, is it cool if I like...
Definitely. always get permission from the artist, but you know, 9 times out of 10 I'll wait till the song's out and then from there, just so that way, because you know, like it'd be kind of flawed to sit here and be like, okay, cool, let me take the song that was like to go like you know what I mean? Like that'd be messed up.
So before we move on, I want to bring up a quote that you said. To think we started in a basement and now look where I am. So how does it feel to have so many accomplishments like under your belt? Especially starting in the dungeon.
Doesn't feel real sometimes, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's like I'm always so focused on making it to that next step that, you know, sometimes it's hard for me to kind of like sit back and, you know, just be like, you know, okay, cool, did that. You know what I mean? So it's definitely something I probably should do more, but like when I do reflect on it, it's an amazing feeling, you know, because a lot of the stuff that I've been able to do at this point in life, like not very many people are going to get that opportunity. So, you know, all I can do is just be grateful for it and then keep working and hopefully add to the memory bank. Yeah.
So I feel like you don't get your flowers enough, as like, you know, that quote is like, you know, you get your flowers. So I wanted to give you some flowers, but like real flowers die. So I kind of wanted to give you something that's not gonna die. So I got you little, like, I made you Lego flowers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, these do look like some fucking Lego flowers.
They are Lego flowers. So you see, now you can't say that nobody gives you your flowers.
That's
because you literally got flowers on Ellie's couch. Like, what?
Put it inside of the beer. It's like a vase. It's like a vase.
The beer. Oh, jeez.
You know?
He's gonna go back to Miami and put it.
I didn't break it.
Wow. It took me forever to make those.
I thought it opened. Okay.
They do open.
I know, but that part looked like it opened.
Yeah. Like all the way.
All right, I'm just gonna set this down before I break it again.
They're Legos. You can put it back together.
Look. I'm just gonna. You can keep going.
Okay, because it looks like you're having a blast playing with Legos.
I'm just gonna set these down.
So aside from working in big studios, you also have a home studio. How does it like feel to basically be able to create whatever you want?
It's a blessing, honestly, because the way that my creation process has developed over the years. Before it was like write in the notebook, write in the phone, and then it was, you know, straight freestyle, like, okay, cool, excuse me, get my lines together, you know, like da 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 da, okay, da 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 da. But now, because like, I don't want to say it's because I'm my biggest critic on myself, but more so because like I'm applying the same advice that I would give to artists to myself. So because of that, I know that music now, like, doesn't matter what you say. It literally does not matter. What matters is that, does it groove? Does it vibe? Can it take you on a journey, right? And then once you have that established, you figure out what words and what story you can piece into that. Right. So to kind of like give you a literal example of that, it'll be, you know, okay, so you ever heard Bandit by Juice WRLD?
Maybe.
Like, like, man, this shit ain't gonna sound nothing like what I was doing before.
Okay, yes, okay.
Like how he's mumbling through to kind of like find his flow.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do, and then I'll go back and I'll figure out what words I need to put to it to match that flow. And then from there, that's how I create it. And I feel like that's helped me out a lot. And, you know, blessed enough to have my own spot, like with my own equipment and shit, because if I was at a studio, I'd be broke.
Yeah, literally.
If I had to pay for studio time, I would be broke. But benefit is that, you know, I am able to kind of create freely as I want, you know what I mean? So
and whenever you want.
Yeah, so there's no pressure to it. I have the time to sit there. If I fuck up, I could, you know, go back and redo it. So I think that's helped me out a lot in terms of like really finding like catchier flows, catchier melodies, things that like people are like actually enjoying listening to, rather than being like, let me hit you with a da 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 da. You get what I'm saying?
That's no, that's funny. Sorry. You also film like YouTube videos, and like you have kind of like a series where you like document how to build a home studio. So what inspired you to like document that and like to help others who might not know where to start? And you do unboxing videos too, like, and review some of the products that you put in the studio. So
I think it's just because, you know, Google and YouTube are the top places that people go to search for something, right? And the thing is that a lot of the stuff that I covered wasn't necessarily, like, you couldn't find too much on it. You know what I mean? And it was something that I was interested in my research before getting or doing these things. I really didn't have too much to like go off of, you know what I mean? So because of that, I was like, well, you know, I'm not a YouTuber, but you feel me? Let me at least put this out here, because if I wanted to learn about it, and you know, unfortunately I didn't get that opportunity to do it before I got it, let me at least help somebody else out. You know, maybe they find it, maybe they don't. I mean, I don't care. I'm not worried about like views on the shit. I'm just putting it out there so that way if someone does need that help, it's there.
Yeah. Okay. And then do you also, because you have a Patreon and a Discord, do you also like teach people different stuff on there as well?
Yeah, definitely.
But that's just like more of like a paywall, correct? Like
it is a paywall. It is a paywall, but no, yeah.
So you go like more in depth, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of just set that up because, you know, I'm always willing to provide whatever information or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like if you ever come to me with a question about something, you know, I'll try to figure it out before we get off the phone. You know what I mean? Like I look at it like puzzles. You know what I mean? I need to figure it out.
Not Legos, puzzles.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you see, I'm not the best with Legos.
No, clearly.
But yeah, no, I just more so like set that up because I feel like I do have not only knowledge, but I also have, you know, services that I can offer, you know what I mean? And, you know, a lot of times people don't necessarily have, you know, a major lump sum to drop. You know, I feel like one of the biggest, I don't want to call it a hassle for artists, but like the thing that they take the least serious is getting their songs mixed, right? Like they'll sit there.
The most overlooked part of the process.
Because they'll pay for the studio time all day, obviously, to make the song. You know, maybe they'll pay for the beat. If they do pay for the beat or they got a producer, all right, cool, you got that. Okay, now you're paying for a video. All right, cool. So you already dropped all this bread, and now you know you mean to tell me that this engineer wants me to send them this amount of money to, like, you know, it's never on like the top list, but a lot of artists fail to realize that
it's actually really important.
No, it would transform your song.
Definitely.
It makes the difference. So, you know, I more so just created that to kind of allow people, like, yeah, it is a subscription based thing, but you know, at least this way you're not paying as much for the quality that you need to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So let me talk to you a little bit about the On the Mic episodes. It's like a time lapse of you in the studio. Yeah. Is that like weird to do? Like just like knowing that you have like this camera up there and it's just watching everything you do. Like you in the back of your mind, you're like, oh shit.
Not at all.
Let me not do some ratchet shit here.
Nah, I mean, I'm ratchet naturally, so you know, like, that's just gonna get caught no matter what. There's nothing that we can do about that. You know what I mean?
Oh, but, I thought your ratchet days were over.
They are over, but you know, sometimes it just wants to break out. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, I mean, it doesn't bother me at all. You know, obviously, you just, you know, got to get approval from the artist to make sure that they're okay with it being recorded or whatever. But afterwards, you know, I feel like it's dope. It was a nice little series. I got to get back on it, honestly.
Yeah.
I've been snoozing on that, but yeah, no, I feel like it's dope. It allows it to almost be like another platform to give people the opportunity to see behind the scenes too. So I think it's cool.
Yeah. So speaking of things that you need to bring back, coffee talks.
I do need to bring coffee talks back. You need to
bring coffee talks back.
Yeah.
Why'd you stop? Well, okay, first, why'd you start? And then, why'd you stop?
I'm lucky enough in life to be able to have very interesting conversations about life, about ideology, about like perspective. You know what I mean? And I feel like not a lot of people get that opportunity to have those type of conversations.
Yeah.
And because of that, like if something resonates with me, I feel like it would definitely resonate with somebody else. You know what I mean? So because of that, like, yo, you know, I'm getting these gems all the time, whether it be from this or that or this or that. So who am I to just hang on to all this shit? You know what I mean? Like, yo, let me share what the fuck, like, you know, I always had this idea that like you can hear something 1,000 times, but it's not until that 1,001th, but not literally at that time, like not after that, but like it has to be that perfect time for you to hear something for it to really resonate like with you. And now you're like, yeah,
it clicks, it makes sense.
You know what I mean?
You also did like these little mini like motivational videos where you had like a background, like you were
oh yeah, like the audio.
Yeah, like the background audio. There was one where you like driving in your car, and there's another one like in the studio. Are you gonna keep those up too?
Yeah.
Or bring them back, I guess.
Yeah, no.
There's a lot of things you need to bring back, sir.
I jump into a lot of stuff because I like experimenting. I like the idea of creating content. I know it's something that I do need to put more time into, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just the way that life be working, man, this shit be crazy.
You're busy. You're a busy guy.
Shit be crazy.
Yeah. So aside from being a Billboard Charting Engineer, you're also a recovering beat maker.
Yes, I am a recovering beat maker.
I mean, that's how you introduced yourself at Beat Pass earlier this year in Miami. So why recovering before we delve into your beats?
I don't know. I just thought that was so funny. Like, to me, it was really funny about that is that I kind of came up with that on the spot. Like, everybody was going up there like, hey, yeah, I've been producing for years and years. And me, I'm just like, I make beats for fun. Like, I don't even make like a specific type of beat. I just like, you know, create a melody and then whatever I'm feeling, I just like make it. You know what I mean? So, you know, beat making is just something I kind of do on the side as like an extra thing. Like, I'm not bad at it, you know what I mean? Like, I've had people like hop on this shit and be like, yo, this shit's fucking crazy, you know? But like, that's why I pulled up there and I was like, man, all these guys take this so serious, and here I am just bullshitting.
So I was
like, all right, let me just lighten the room real quick. And I was like, hey everybody, and I almost felt like it was a Alcohol Anonymous meeting. And I was like, hey, and they're like, hey, and I'm like, I'm a recovering beat maker. Me too. But no, it was funny because it lightened the room up a little bit, but it was fire because the couple of beats that I played, everybody's like, okay. And they're like, recover? Why you say that, bro? You make beats. And I'm like, sometimes.
So a little bit here. So I want to talk about C Notes Beats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where you started, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Or like the branding of the beats. You only have one beat on your YouTube from like November 2018. But you know me, and you know I be searching. There's a bunch of them on your SoundCloud.
Beats? Oh yeah, I forgot I made a SoundCloud. Yeah.
Yes. But the first beat I found was titled Beat the Day. From like 6 years ago. Yeah. And then the last beat I found was from 4 years ago, and it was titled Present Sample.
Yeah, that's one thing you'll learn is like producers, there's never a good name for a beat. Like people would be like JJJ, YYY, XXX, you know what I mean? Like it's literally the most randomest of
literally
names. So it's like I got some stuff that I just sent off to my homie. It's literally called Cold Coffee.
Wow. And
you know what I did? I made the beat and I looked around. I took a sip of coffee and I'm like, cold coffee.
Your coffee was cold.
That's how it came.
Coffee was cold. Not this morning. Yesterday morning. It was so upsetting. It was so bad. Is your beat style different from like your musical style?
Okay, you gotta clarify a little bit more on that. What do you mean?
Okay, like, would you rap on the beats that you make?
Oh, all the time.
Okay.
Even if I send beats off to somebody, I've probably recorded to it already. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's like naturally, like I'll make a beat and I'll just end up recording to it just because it's like, all right, I'm already in the creative process. I've did this. Let me just now exercise this side of the brain, you know what I mean? So I definitely like try to exercise it as much as possible.
Yeah.
A lot of those songs don't end up coming into anything, you know what I mean?
Anything.
But you know, it's good repetition. You know, I'm putting my shots up.
Yeah. So you also started playing the guitar back in 2020. Do you like incorporate any of your guitar playing into your beats?
Fuck no, I wish. That shit.
That was
yeah, because that shit. You know what's funny is that it was because of the game The Last of Us 2 actually.
Ooh,
so
okay.
there was a trailer that came out where Ellie was playing the guitar, and it's crazy because when I heard it, I was like, yo, this is so fire. And my guy at the studio is like a fucking mad scientist with the guitar. So I asked him, I was like, bro, what are the notes to this and how do I play this? And he taught me. So literally that's like the only, like I know a couple of chords, but like literally that is the only thing I know how to play on the guitar.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and life be crazy. I haven't had a chance to sit there and, you know, jump into learning it more.
I'm
Same
so
thing with,
disappointed.
Same thing with the piano. Like I learned how to play it naturally and I know how to like boom, like understand the keys. But like as far as like reading notes and fucking doing that shit, nope. That's over with.
Well, you answered a question I was gonna ask, which was if you're self-taught. Clearly, we got the answer to that before I asked. Where do you get the inspiration to make your beats? Because I know, like you said, in general, you're inspired by music. Is that the same, like you're inspired by music in general when you're making your own music, but is that the same concept when you're making beats?
I think it depends. Because a lot of times, like if I'm in the mood to make a beat, I'm just like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna cook. And then, you know, I just kind of like play through sounds and see what catches my ear. Usually I'm a melody person first, and then I kind of like try to build like the ambiance around everything. And then from there, like I'll put the drums in to kind of like add the rhythm to it, you know what I mean? But you know, there are times where I'm like, all right, cool, I got something specific on my mind that I want to do. So let me try to capture that energy as I make this beat. But it's different every time. It's just situational.
Yeah. So do you use any of your beats when you're working on Hits Hotel?
So Hits Hotel.
We're gonna get into Hits Hotel now. Yeah.
Right.
You gotta tell me all about that.
Yeah. So Hits Hotel, I'm actually a co-founder, along with my guy Bobby Black, and we kind of came up with this arrangement of, you know, we all are kind of doing a little bit of everything. So, you know, as far as like it goes for making beats, I'm not the one actually making the beat, but like I'll give like little input like, hey, we should try this or move this here, boom, you know what I mean? But like as far as Hits Hotels go, I'm kind of like the back end / camera / engineer. Like I just bounce around. I'm the person that like, if we need something done, I get it done.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'll be moving about the room nonstop all the time.
Yeah. So where's Hits Hotel now? Is it coming back?
That is the plan. That is the plan. Yeah, no, it's something that is in the works. You know, me and my partner Bubby Black, we have to you know, work out some details, but for the, you know, we already got like paperwork and everything like that drawn up, so once the time comes that we do start rolling it again, we had a hard drive crash, so
no.
Yeah, we had some really good music. So
technology sucks sometimes. Damn.
Hey, that's why we need backups on backups on backups.
Bro, I'm obsessed with doing backups of backups of backups. Before we get back into your musical journey, I'm gonna lighten the mood a little bit and talk about your travel blogs. You didn't think I was gonna bring that one up?
I knew it was coming.
Oh, okay. JK. Apparently.
All right, I ain't gonna lie. Brief intermission. I'm gonna travel to the bathroom.
Okay. Okay, so your travel vlogs, sir. You have 2.
We're back.
We're back after a brief intermission. You have one where you went to New York and another one where you went to Denver. Will there be a Chicago one?
You know, my checkings is in my savings. My savings takes 3 days to transfer, and yeah, no, honestly, you know what's funny is that I do have a lot of...
That is like the best excuse I've ever heard.
No, I actually do have a lot of footage from when I come out here. Usually, I'm always capturing at least something.
Are you gonna? I was talking specifically about this trip.
Oh,
sure.
Yeah.
Talk about all the other times you came to Chicago.
Oh yeah, no, this trip I haven't caught shit. I haven't caught shit. But you know what? I was trying to make sure that I'm not doing an interview like, yeah, that's great. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get some sleep, man. Look.
So this is
context. I've been up since 7 o'clock the day before today.
So it's been.
These bags are designer.
I can't with you. I'm going to talk about the Denver vlog first. You went hiking and you regret it, which, duh. I feel like anytime anybody goes hiking, they regret it.
No, it was great. I just was falling a lot, and I did not bring the right shoes for a winter hike. That's for sure.
Yeah. I also want to know why the fuck you were grilling in the snow. What is wrong with you?
Why not? Those burgers were delicious.
Were they?
Yeah, they were.
Because there was a part where you were like, they're done. And everybody's like, those aren't done.
They were done. They were talking shit. Fuck those guys.
Whoa. Okay.
They ate them. They didn't complain. They said they were good.
Okay. Well, they ate them, so they must have been good. So now let's talk about the New York vlog. That used to be like, New York was like my go-to vacation spot. So in a little bit.
You're cultured.
Look who's talking about being cultured. I've traveled to all these states and all these cities and blah, blah, blah.
I was there for a night. That shit don't count.
So I'm more cultured because I've been in a place for like 3 nights?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm the more cultured one here. This vlog was a fucking mess. I feel like this entire trip was a mess. You missed your flight. You got kicked out of your Airbnb. You were supposed to go to a studio. Did you go to the studio?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we spent a couple days at the studio.
You went to a secret location.
Mm-hmm.
What was the secret location? Can you tell us now?
No.
Wow.
But I'll give you news. That was before the flight.
Yeah, that was before.
Yeah,
before. And yeah, I'm telling you, this vlog was chaotic, so
yeah, no,
I'm just gonna bring it up chaotically too.
Yeah, New York was definitely a crazy experience. That one was funny.
Yeah. Can you compare the train system in New York to the train system in Chicago?
I feel like the train system here is more simpler, but it's just because we have less like railways here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's stuff like it's pretty similar. You know what I mean? But it's once you start getting into the Amtrak, that's where things get a little like confusing. Because I flew into Jersey and then went into the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that does get confusing. I did that before too.
Yeah.
We stayed out in Jersey and then we took the train into the city. Yeah, that shit is not.
Nah, it was an experience. But
it's definitely an experience.
But nah, yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, the dope part like that I like about New York is that, you know, I mean, granted, New York's a big ass place, but you feel me, like it reminds me a lot of here because I used to do a lot of walking here. You know what I mean? So, you know, as soon as I got to like a general area where I needed to be, I was like, man, I'm just gonna walk. Fuck it.
So cute. Just gonna walk. So you had another mishap in New York. You wanted to get Puerto Rican food because obviously you're part Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
And you couldn't find it. So what is the best place to get Puerto Rican food?
I found
Well, you did find it, but it wasn't like up to your standards.
Yeah.
So where is the best place ever anywhere to get Puerto Rican?
Chicago.
Oh. Hey,
It's the best place for the Puerto Rican food.
Do you have like a favorite spot that you go to every time you come home?
So, Jibarito on Harlem, Jibarito y Mas, or Ponce. Those are the 3.
There you go. 3 options for all other Puerto Ricans or people who want to try Puerto Rican food. There you go. Those are the 3 best places to get Puerto Rican food. So I want to ask you, what's your favorite city between Chicago, Miami, New York, and Denver? I mean, I know you've been everywhere, but...
Yeah, well, I mean, Denver, I wasn't so much in the city. You know, we were in the mountains, so that one is a little bit different.
Okay, so
but
we can't talk about Denver. So Miami, New York, and Chicago.
I mean, Chicago's home for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is always gonna be my favorite place. It's got everything that I would want here. You know what I mean? Miami's cool because it's a place where I've been able to excel in my career. New York is fire because it's just like land of the opportunity. So, I mean, they all got like perks in their own like aspect, but I mean, I'm never choosing nowhere else over home.
Yeah, I feel the same. Like I said, New York was like my vacation spot, but like Chicago's always gonna be home. I mean, you know, we both have like we were born here in Chicago and we moved to Miami. I came back. You haven't come back. You just come back to visit. Do you think you'll ever move back to Chicago?
Maybe one day. I feel like if I were to move back here, I'd have to have a situation in place that would make sense. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to come back and be in the same position. I want to come back and be able to put people on. You know what I mean?
Makes sense. Makes sense. Now, we're gonna go and do a little deep dive into your music, okay? Because in 2020, you said, I get nervous showing people my music, but I be in the studio jamming out to it. Do you still feel that way?
I said that in 2020?
You said that in 2020.
Where the fuck did that come from?
I don't fucking know your mouth.
Oh my God,
you typed it.
Sheesh. That's it, man. Do I get nervous showing people my music? Not necessarily. I tend not to show people my music, not because I don't think it's good or I don't think people would like it. You know, it's nothing like that. It's just more so in times like, you know, I'm working with artists and they're paying me to help them create their music.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's weird if I go on and I'm like, oh, hey, by the way, you know, check out this verse I just wrote, or, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's like me coming on your podcast and then I'm just like, okay, cool. Well, I actually got my cards and you ask me a question and I ask you a question, not answering your question, but then, you know what I mean? It's just like back and forth. It's counterproductive. You know what I mean?
I would probably punch you in the face.
Protection.
Let's not hurt Mr. Ghoul. He's cute. Or she. I don't know if we have named it.
Just like Deadpool said, I'm gender blind.
Okay, so first up on like this random list in no particular order of songs, we're gonna talk about Pen Time, because it was supposed to be the first single off of Sense of Self. Mm-hmm. But that project never came out. Pen Time did come out. So what happened with the whole project?
I don't know. It was just like a period of time where like I had a collection of songs that I had put together. And at the time I felt like really confident in them. But, you know, as time went on, you know, I kind of just like listened back to them. And I was like, Like I still like the ideology that I had for the tracks and, you know, the theme of the project, but I was just like, I got better stuff than this, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. The reason I bring up Pen Time is because you say that you mentioned on that song that you dropped out of college. Mm-hmm. What can you tell me about dropping out of college and then going and getting like the certificate and the music stuff?
Yeah, so there was a big gap between those two things. I dropped out of college in January, so after the first semester of 2013 going into 2014. So dropped out of college then. I didn't get the certificate until 2019. And in the in-between time, I had my studio, then that bounced to a home setup, but from there it was just like basically working, trying to, you know, get money right and, you know, just developing my craft, honestly.
Okay. So next up, we're going to talk about Proud of Me, which was like a message to the non-believers and like to show how much like, how far you had gotten up to that point. There was a music video to it too, where you were chugging some alcohol.
You know what's crazy too is that clip, even though it looks like it slowed down, he really didn't slow it down that much. Like I was really drinking that shit.
Okay. I was gonna ask you, I mean, I know you were really drinking, but was it like actually alcohol or was it water? Like was it an empty bottle?
That was alcohol.
Jesus.
That was a real bottle. Literally.
How are you alive?
I don't know. But yeah, if you ever watch that video, you'll notice like the movement is like this. It's like, oh, and that's barely slowed down because like, okay, we got the top on here. Like, you know, sometimes like you'll pour stuff and you'll see like bubbles come out and shit, you know? Like legit, the bubbles were like this, but slightly slower. Like I was chugging that shit.
Yeah, you were in the video. You were chugging. And I was like, is he actually chugging all this liquor right now? Or
No, yeah, that was legit.
Holy shit.
That was a crazy night.
That was a crazy video. And then at the end, there's a bunch of empty bottles all over the place. Did you guys finish those all that right before that? Or was this like a collection of overtime?
That was that night. So
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you've seen the video, like there was people. So basically what happened with that is when we were all still like in our collective, we would throw like parties and we'd like, you know, whatever, like have like a purpose for it. So in that case, it was a birthday party / music video. So we rented out a spot that was like literally like a hop, skip, and a jump away from Wrigleyville. So, you know, it's funny because like that was like one of the last minute ones that we had thrown where we just got approved for the spot to rent it out. Fucking flew over there, started moving furniture around. Like, all right, cool. We know we're throwing a party in here. Had like 3 hours to get the shit together. Did that shit, grabbed whatever bottles and shit we needed. Ended up throwing a party in there. And then whatever, started shooting the video. And then at some point, the cops actually pulled up and shut the shit down. Like,
what?
Like that entire house. Like, so the ending scenes of that video, you know how it's kind of like this and shit. You know what I mean? That was like a little bit more of like the later footage. I want to say that was like closer to like midnight. So it wasn't like the maxed out thing, but legit, you could not walk through that apartment. It was that packed. There was motherfuckers all outside and shit.
Oh, this was the ratchet Dom, huh?
Yes. But yeah, no, all those bottles, those were all left over. If you actually pay attention, some of those were actually still filled.
Yeah, there were some of them that had like, but most of them I think were empty.
Yeah, no, like 90% of them were empty. But the thing was, we had like fucking 6 handles of, you ever heard of Lux vodka?
Yes.
Disgusting.
I'm a vodka girl.
That was the first time I ever thought I got alcohol poisoning.
Oh, the first time?
Yes.
Okay, because there've been multiple times, clearly.
First and only.
Ooh, okay.
Lux,
Right.
don't drink Lux vodka. Don't do it.
So next up, plan. You have a line. It's been way too long, hard for me to say I'm home. Always on the fucking road, always in the fucking zone. That line, I just like it in general. But the reason I wanted to talk about this song was to kind of bring up a drunk driving incident and getting locked up. So was this like based on a real life experience?
Definitely, yeah.
And
like I said,
what can you tell me about it? What are you open to saying?
Yeah, nah, I mean, anything I say in my music is like pertaining to real life situations for the most part, you know what I mean? Like there are certain things that I'll kind of like exaggerate on, but for the most part everything is legit, you know? But yeah, nah, it's crazy. When I first moved down to Miami, you know, I moved down in June, and a week before my birthday, I ended up getting into an accident, and because I refused to do breathalyzer, they ended up, you know, taking me in, and then whatever, bonded myself out, got out, did the lawyer stuff, whatever. I didn't even tell you this part. So, you know, my lawyer's fighting it, and they're like, yo, we actually got to go to court. And I'm like,
oh shit.
All right, so what is it looking like? And they're like, there's a good chance it'll get dismissed. And I'm like, yeah, fuck it. I don't want a DUI on my record. So whatever, we go to court, right? My lawyer makes it to the front of the line as they're doing like the calling for the cases. Prosecutor's like, yeah, we're still waiting on our arresting officer to pull up. Okay, you got 15 minutes. Go to the back of the line. Circle back to the end. Make it all the way to the front again. Yeah, Your Honor, we're still waiting for the officer. Does he have any priors? No, clean record. All right, case dismissed. Boop. And literally, as I was walking out of the courtroom, the arresting officer showed up.
Whoa. Talk about timing.
Yeah, my lawyer was like, hurry up and get the fuck out of here before anybody says anything else. And I was like,
Speed walk out
aye,
this
Captain.
bitch.
Say less.
You're like, yo, I want to run, but yeah, let me not. Let me not draw attention to myself.
Incognito.
That is wild. Paper. You'd say, the one I'll marry, perfect fit. Obviously, this is a love song. This was like 3 years ago. Was it about someone special? Or was this one of those that you exaggerated a little bit?
Probably a combination of both. I'm trying to remember. I think it depends on what year it was, so I'd have a better idea.
Yeah, 3 years ago, but I don't know. That would be 2021?
2021.
Around that time?
Yeah. There's, like, usually in those moments where, like I said, everything feeds off of real life, you know what I mean? Like, I won't say that I was actually ready to get married, you know what I mean? But, like, you know, I felt strongly about that person, so, you know, I thought that, you know, she was cool. But, you know, just
didn't work out. So this song was unmixed, and so was With You. Why did you still release those, even though they were unmixed?
So with those songs, if I'm not mistaken, the beats had gotten bought, so I couldn't get the licensing to them. And because of that, like, I really enjoyed the songs, but it didn't make sense to me to really invest the entire effort into, you know, perfecting it, and then, you know, just dropping it to SoundCloud and not making any money from it or anything. You know what I mean? So I was just like, you know what? Like, I want to release it as an idea that I had.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's kind of how I'm, like, if I do ever release anything else on SoundCloud, it'll just be for the purpose of, like, just, you know, allowing myself to let ideas be free.
So next up, let's talk about 5 a.m. featuring Alexander Pierre. How did that collab come about? How?
So Alexander Pierre, he's a dope artist, lyricist. You know, obviously based here in Chicago. And, you know, we've known each other for a long time. You know, we've been kind of back and forth. Like, I would bounce over to, like, where they're at. They'd come over by us. And that day just so happened to be over at my house at the time. And we're like, bro, like, you know, we've had so many years of knowing each other, and, like, we've never really had a song. You know what I mean? So it was just kind of like, there was more of us in the room that were like creating at the time, but it just kind of got narrowed down to that. And yeah, no, I fuck with that song. I think it came out dope. I think everybody shined. So shout out Alexander Pierre. That show's fire. Yeah, no, I fuck with that track.
Okay.
It was good vibes.
Next up, let's talk about Can You See It? Again with the C.
Can you see it? Can you see these designer bags?
I'm about to have designer bags pretty soon if I don't pass out right here. So this was 6 songs. I want to talk about the cover really quick because as you just showed your bags, is it your eyes?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you do a lot of your artwork as well, like your cover art?
Basically all my artwork. Like 99% of anything I've ever released has been me sitting there in front of a computer screen, pressing this button, pressing that button, pressing this button, saying, look, I'm going to figure it out. So, look. And next you know, cover art just ends up being something. So that's how it plays out.
There you go. So let's talk about a couple songs off of this one. We're not going to go into the whole project. Fat Joint. You have a music video where you're like fighting with yourself. It's giving like devil angel vibes. Were you still in Chicago?
No, that was in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was here or there or where it was.
No, yeah, that was over there. That was I don't know if you know the pier that's in Fort Lauderdale.
Probably.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's like some popular like little pier stuff. I was so mad. If you watch that video, there was a guy that is behind me that was fishing in the beginning.
Okay.
Right? So me and my brother shot the video, right? So we're sitting there, we're getting ready to set up our scene, and this group of people are like all the way in the back. So we're like, fuck it, let's just run it really quick, right?
Yeah.
And then the one dude comes up, stands in front of this fishing pole like this, and then he's like, okay, now I'm gonna fish. In the middle of the fucking scene. I'm like, bro, you see we're doing something right now. Like, what the fuck?
He said, fuck y'all.
For real.
Actually, you know what? Maybe it was my cousin. Maybe he was out there fishing because, you know, he likes to do all this fishing stuff.
Why is he photobombing videos?
For fun. Because why not?
Evil.
This track was also produced by C Notes, which is you.
Yes, ma'am.
What else did you do yourself on this project? Because I think
Everything.
you told me like you did almost everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I told myself that my very first project that I was going to release on streaming, I wanted it to be everything done by myself. So I made all the beats, mixed, master, wrote, cover art. The other thing I didn't do was, the video.
Yeah.
I came up with like the concept of like how we were gonna do stuff. Me and my brother were like bouncing ideas back and forth like on scenes and stuff. But yeah, no, I mean he edited the video, but basically everything else I did myself.
Wow. Okay, so we're gonna move on to another project you did, which was Too Late. It had 2 songs, and they were both features. They both had features on them. So I'm gonna give you a quote from each one. I could book you a flight. Was it were you in a long distance relationship? Were you just talking shit?
No, I wasn't in a long distance relationship, but I had some out of towners that I kept in contact with.
Okay. And then this one was at night, and that was featuring, how do you say her name?
Jaylani.
Jaylani. Okay. So the next one. The fact that I have to say this, but it's fine. Bitch, get out my face. And then you also have like a female who's like leaving a voicemail on this one. How did you come up with this? I'm sorry, because this one's featuring Kid as well. So how did you?
For Wait For Me.
Yeah, off of Wait For Me. Yeah.
So what's funny is that me and Kid. So Edwin Edsel, he made that beat. And then. What's it called? Me and Kid, that was one of the times Kid came down there. We recorded the song, got everything together. And then Jaylani, me and her were working at the time. And, we ended up I ended up showing her a couple of songs. And, she just really fucked with the vibe.
Yeah.
I played it for her just to see if she liked it. And then I was like, yo, I need you to be a crazy girlfriend. Just leave the most craziest fucking voicemail that you can on there. That should be clutch. So. That's how that came about.
Okay, interesting. Yes, and then you kind of incorporate voicemails and stuff, even even when you're working with other artists, like we mentioned earlier, when you're working on CC for TV, that you had the crazy girlfriend, the lovely girlfriend, and all that stuff. So it's the voicemail thing, something you kind of keep in your back pocket, a little trick.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good It's another texture, you know what I mean? When you're painting, it's an extra color that you can add to something, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So next up, Strange Dreams featuring Bleeze.
Please.
Okay. It's very fun. No, I wouldn't say fun, but trippy kind of song. I don't even know. I can't find the right terminology for it, but you tell me about the song, I guess.
Yeah, no. So Strange Dreams. Bleeze is actually, shout out to Mommy Bleeze. He's actually in the same group as YJ. They're in a group called 47 Republic. So I think NLTO came out first, and then Strange Dreams. And because of the fact that I had a very continuous flow on that, and I knew how Bleeze rapped, I was like, bro, I need you to get on this shit. And then he came in and he's like, Strange Dreams. I was like, that's what I needed.
It, yeah.
Yeah, no, he killed that shit. He definitely killed that shit.
Okay. The next song we're gonna talk about, I actually have on my personal playlist because I fuck with it so much. I'm gonna give you a quote. Look at the time and I'm still up. Can't forget what I promised ya. Obviously, it's off of Still Up. So specifically that line, who or what are you talking about when you say promise? Can't forget what I promised ya.
To my pops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. With him passing, it's definitely been a tough time, but at the same time, I feel like his final blessing to me was, allowing me to appreciate the time that we do got, and striving to make some shit happen, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I definitely promised him. I wish he would have been here to at least see the accomplishments that I'm finally getting to, but life plays out how it does. So
yeah. Speaking of your dad, he was part of Freestyle Mafia Chicago. So is that kind of where your music, like your love for music and stuff like that came from, do you think? Or maybe it influenced
oh, for
you a
sure,
little bit?
for sure. Yeah. No, my pops. So that was actually his thing. That was like his radio station.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I think that's where my love of like melody and singing came in, because growing up on freestyle music, like I would hear that shit all the time.
Love freestyle. I grew up on it too.
be in the crib just fucking singing that shit. But yeah, nah, definitely. Like, I mean, I always loved music, you know what I mean? And to be able just to hear, like, different time periods is, like, super crucial, I feel like, to developing, like, how you can understand music,
Yeah, definitely. So, you recently, semi-recently released an EP kind of talking about your dad. I know this might be a little tough, so we'll get into it, but we'll get into it as far as you're comfortable getting into it, I guess we'll say.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so the title is 12:30. So the first song, Call Me Back, this one was super relatable for me, specifically because you're like, I keep calling your phone hoping that you'll answer, but you're gone. I used to do that with my mom, like after she died a lot too. I would just call, or I listened to like the last voicemail that she left me. So yeah, that one kind of gets my little heart that's in there somewhere. Most people say I don't have one, but it's in there, I promise. So how was it, I guess in general, making this project for you, but more so that song? Like, were you going through that too? Like, were you kind of like calling his old phone?
Yeah, no, that honestly, that project kind of helped me through the grieving process, honestly, because like those were raw emotions. Like,
Definitely.
That's one of those projects I'll say that I didn't make for anybody else to enjoy. I made that for myself.
That was for you.
You know what I mean? And I'm not a person to like necessarily glorify like what's going on inside of my personal life for sympathy or for pity or whatever people may do. It was just more so that like I know that other people have experienced something similar to this, and this may be something that they need for the moment. You know what I mean? So that's honestly the only reason why I put it out. Otherwise, I definitely wouldn't have. I would have hung on to those songs forever and obviously just listen to them whenever I would think about them. But yeah, no, it was just a combination of, just like emotions that I was feeling throughout the time. Because realistically, I was actually supposed to drop that project a lot sooner.
Yeah.
And even though it's only like a limited number of songs, it's just, like when you're going through that shit, it's not like you can't put a timetable on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a grieving process for losing a parent, especially like when you lose them young or like before you've accomplished kind of goals. It's so hard. Like my mom, it was like a month and a half before I graduated college, and that was all she ever wanted for was one of her kids to graduate college. And I was like I was right there and she wasn't there. So there's not really like a proper way to grieve or a timeline, especially when you're in that grief. It's tough.
But you were able to make it happen for her, so
yes.
Salute to you for that.
With my water. The next song on there is Disguise, which is a little different than our first song. It's featuring Blondewick?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna do another quote. I'm not sure how much you're willing to talk about this one because it's a little controversial, I guess you would say. You're a demon in disguise. I just hope that you burn in hell. Should have left that hoe alone. Again, I don't know how deep you want to get into that situation. We could skip it if you don't want to get into it.
Yeah, no, there's it was definitely something that happened after my father passed, and it was just something that I wasn't a fan of. So I felt like it was eating at me, so I needed to get it off the chest, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So.
And we'll leave it at that. That's all you gotta know. Inside, this one is a tough one for me. It like talks about your guilt and like what you should have done, like how you weren't home, like how your dad was far away because like he was here in Chicago and then you were in Miami. How challenging was that? Like during that whole time, like knowing he's so far away, this happened and you're not like there, and like you could have done. I feel like during that, like it's always like the coulda, shoulda, wouldas.
Yeah.
So how challenging was that for you, and how did you kind of get through it?
Honestly, I feel like that was the toughest part of it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it was necessarily a surprise. You know, my father had been dealing with medical shit for a while. But it's just, you know, you just get that, you know, thought in your mind of like, damn, you know, if I could have been there, I could have did something, you know, which isn't necessarily always the truth, but, you know, you tell yourself that because you're like, I could have did something. Yeah. So yeah, no, I think that was definitely the hardest part of it for sure. Yeah. But I mean, it's part of life, you know what I mean? Like, I know that he was happy at the fact that I was able to, you know, be pursuing something that I loved. I mean, he literally seen me start from not doing, you know, literally just playing sports to, all right, cool, now I'm writing, now I got a mic, now I got a computer, now you know, he literally seen, exactly, you know what I mean? I wish he, you know, was able to hang around for, you know, a little bit more of the later stuff that's like, all right, cool, something's happening. I know you know, I mean, I know he's proud. Yeah. But
I still get like that with my mom. I'm like, damn, if she could see like Melly's couch, like all the stuff that I'm doing. I'm like, she didn't even get to see me graduate. So I definitely feel you on like they saw the progression, but they didn't get to see like the good stuff of it, like where it.
Yeah, I say that in the project. It's you know, like I forget what I said verbatim, but basically like, you know, it sucks that like I put in all this work and you don't even get to see the fruits of the labor. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the last song, which is 12:30, which is like the title track, and then that's the day he passed as well. You mentioned like drinking all this liquor. Was that something like a coping mechanism, do you think?
Oh, for sure. Sure. Yeah, no, I mean,
I think I did the same exact thing. So.
Nah, yeah, it's, you know, when you find yourself in a dark place, it's hard for you to not make dark decisions. You know what I mean? And no matter what, everybody goes through something differently. You know what I mean? So there's no right way, there's no wrong way, but can I say that was the appropriate
or like the
way?
Most productive way?
Not at all.
It never is.
But I mean, I didn't know any better. You know what I mean? Like that was the only thing that would like at least pull me away from the moment.
Yeah.
So
I was 21 when my mom died, so I was definitely in that like party era as well. So I think it was even easier to fall into that. Like,
yeah, no, you probably wanna overload with that shit.
After I got through like my hermit mode, I went overload for sure. It took me a long time to get past it. So we're gonna lighten the mood again, because this was like, I feel like this was a mini therapy session, and it was, I think, tough for both of us. So we're gonna come talk about like more recent tracks, which are not so deep. Blessing Me with Siraj, which you also have like a video where you're being like really silly, and like you have the Squirtle in there. You guys did the green screen thing. So I want to talk about one line, which was, I had some enemies that were my friends. In this industry, do you think, in general, and then obviously if you want to go into personal details, do you think it's difficult to find like genuine people to really like be there for you?
I don't think it's hard to find people that will be there for you. I think it's hard to find people who are there for you for the right reasons. You know what I mean? Because, like, no matter what, like, you never know somebody's wearing a disguise until they decide to take it off or until you pull it off of them.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So, like, at the end of the day, you know, you gotta allow yourself to walk into a scenario and understand that, like, what the boundaries are, what the relationship is, and from there, you know what I mean? Like, as long as you stay alert on the situation, you shouldn't necessarily have anything to worry about. You know what I mean?
Do you think like the people are different in Miami versus Chicago, especially like building those genuine relationships and like?
I think it's a different culture.
Definitely.
I think it's a different culture. I think people go about things differently, in the sense of, you know, like how people develop their friendships and whatever the case here is definitely not how they would develop it over there. Not to say that there's not
like a right or wrong way,
not even a right or wrong, but like, you know, I've found quality people over there in Miami, you know what I mean, and I've always had quality people here in Chicago. It's different aspects, you know what I mean, but you know, like, a good person is a good person. Yeah. So, like, you know, you just got to be able to understand that, like, you're either rocking with a good person or you're rocking with someone who's pretending to be a good person. You got to be able to see the difference.
Yeah, exactly. So next up, Bentley, which has become like my
brand new Bentley.
It's become like my new favorite. You did this one with Kai del Cielo.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it? Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I was like, okay, I know how to say del cielo, but I wasn't sure how to say it. And
shout out Kat.
okay, there you go. My favorite line or standout line was "Want you to hold me down, not in place." What is the significance of that?
I believe that if you're gonna ever tie yourself or attach yourself to a partner, it should never be a situation where it's restrictive.
Right. Yeah.
So, like, there's no reason why you should be trying to keep me right here. You know what I mean? Like, you should be wanting me to expand and make it to the next level, and vice versa. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole point of, like, you know, involving yourself with somebody else, is that, you know, you're not stopping your process just that way you can be stuck right here. Because that's where a lot of relationship shit, you know, gets to bumping the heads and whatever.
Do you think have you found it difficult to maintain romantic relationships? Because, like, you live in the studio, you've done the tour.
100%.
Like
100%. And I wouldn't even say that it's their fault. It's more my fault, because I am a workaholic, and
literally,
I don't know. It's hard for me to put my mind to anything else. I wouldn't say that I'm like single track minded, but I definitely think that, you know, like, I have certain priorities set in place. So, you know, if it was to be something, it would need to fall in line with what I have going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. That makes sense. So before we go, we've reached the end. I know you guys.
This is the end?
Yes.
That was all 32 cards?
Oh, yes.
Did you get any paper cuts?
No. My hand hurts from writing, though.
Man,
I might have gotten carpal tunnel.
My hand would hurt from having to do this so many damn times. That shit. Golly.
I mean,
Encyclopedia of Dom Cee here.
Literally, the Encyclopedia of Dom Cee. I want to bring up two quotes before we head out.
Okay.
So they're both from 2020.
Okay.
First one was May 23rd. You said, "It's been almost 2 years since I made the decision to go all in towards my dreams." And then the second one was in October. It was October 28th or 29th, one of those. "I gave up $80K a year to follow my dreams." So you've made like a lot of sacrifices to be where you are.
Definitely.
Do you feel like all of those sacrifices have like paid off? And do you think you've reached the goals that you kind of set for yourself?
I think in that aspect, I'm probably not fair to myself, because it's like, all right, cool, I've fucking climbed this mountain. All right, I'm on to the next mountain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, cool, done, next. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm definitely happy and like even amazed at myself to be able to look back and see where shit was and where I've gotten to, you know what I mean? But I'd be lying to you if I told you that like this is as far as I wanted to make it, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to go.
Let's go. What other goals do you have? Do you want to tell us? Because, you know, sometimes you can't speak things before they're done. So I'm okay if you don't want to tell us the future goals.
Nah, man, I need me some plaques. If I can get me some hardware, that would be fire. But honestly, I just wanna keep creating music with quality people. I want to create quality music, and just want to have quality experiences.
Ooh, it's all about quality with Dom Cee, and I feel like he's definitely given us a quality interview. Normally, my guests spit a freestyle, but Dom has to run back to the airport to get back to Miami. So, okay, wow. So we're gonna like wrap this up super quick. Let everybody know where to follow you or like to hit
you can follow me on Instagram. My name is Dom Cee Knows. If you look it up, I'm the only one. It's the real thing. I'm the best. If you need mixing and mastering, you can hit me up. If you want a feature, that's too bad, because I only rap when I want to. Bars. So go follow Dom Cee. Dom Cee Knows. I am Dom Cee. You got two. Wait.
Okay.
Wait.
Waiting.
Melly, what else do you have coming up next?
I can't say. I have NDAs.
Back to you, Ollie.
So here's a little thank you card before you head to the airport. Thank you so much for coming on Melly's Couch. Remember to follow Dom everywhere. Hit him up for mixing, mastering, all of your musical needs. Remember to follow The Lot, our official sponsor. Could not do this without them. And follow me. Stay tuned for the next episode because you never know who's going to show up to the couch. Bye.